head coach NC State men's basketball, sat down and immediately called out a reporter that had been critical of their transfer portal recruiting. He gave us a ton of awesome clips, as Will Wade often does. Gave us the sound bites, right? In the media, you're like, appreciate it. Coach, but I do think, at least this show didn't, and I didn't see many talking about it, didn't talk enough about the basketball points he snuck into the press conference. You know, underneath the cover of these unusual coach speak clips that he gives us so often, he snuck in something that I think is actually going to end up being a big point. Well, I think it's going to be something that impacts the basketball, the win-loss total, a lot more than, you know, his personality, because there's I like to name my theory. Some people get annoyed by it, but I can't help it. It's the children's sports movie theory, right? You're thinking like Mighty Ducks, right? We get attached to these narratives, right? We get attached to the storylines, but usually when a team goes on a hot streak, when a team goes on a really, really good run, there's a actual like X's and O's or schematic reason why. The reason why I call it, you know, Mighty Ducks is because, right, Gordon Bombay gives a great speech played by Emilio Estevez, and the team goes on a run from worst to first. But what no one ever acknowledges is they because of the way the district lines were drawn, they took the best player from the best team and put him on Gordon Bombay's team, right? They went and took Brad Banks, put him on the worst team. And in 9-year-old hockey, or however old they were, if you take the best player in the league, right, the one future pro in the league, put him on the worst team, yeah, they'll probably be the best team. Maybe it wasn't all about the coming together speeches from the washed up old hockey player, and maybe it was about just getting the best player. Right, so we're going to lock on. Heck, I'll even use NC State's run to the Final Four under Kevin Keatts. How did they do it? Oh, my goodness. Well, they had one of the most unusual players in college basketball in DJ Burns. Now, in the ACC, right, when you're facing conference teams that study you and know you really well, guess what? They can figure out how to play DJ Burns. But when you're in an NCAA tournament, right, which they squeaked into after they won the ACC tournament, teams don't have a long time to figure it out, right? They might have 48 hours to scout you. Now he's so unusual, it's really difficult to make it happen. Look at that. You get an unusually unique, good basketball player, you go on a run. Maybe it wasn't just the ice cream and the why not us. So Will Wade speaking to the media, and the storyline we grab onto is this brash new coach that isn't afraid to ruffle feathers, and he's not afraid of the teams across the triangle, and he's grabbing transfers from another team in the triangle, and he's calling out reporters. But then he slides in there, you know, we would be willing to accept another big man or two if the right guy comes up, and I'm going, that might be the thing that matters more. That might be the thing that's the basketball reason you do or don't reach your goals this year, regardless of the narratives and the storylines. And if you want the actual audio, Will Wade would like to add another big or two if he can find the right guys.
You know, look, we're still looking. We'd like to add another big or two if we can find the right guys. At this point, you need a little bit of luck, whether it's a foreign guy or some other things that happen. But we have our antennas up and are looking. So. But I feel solid about what we've done. We've got a solid team. You know, I think with another piece or two, it could be a really, really good team. But we'll see what happens between now and August 17th.
There's a reason why they're still looking for a big. It's because I think they need it. I'm with them. I think they need a big man or two. And the ironic part of it all is he doesn't have to look far to learn that lesson, right? Smart person learns from their own mistakes. Wise person learns from the mistakes of others. They don't have to look far. UNC last year, how many times did we gather after a tough loss for UNC and say, just felt like they didn't have the big guy, looked like they really missed Armando Bacot, even though they had 6'10", 6'11", right? Withers, Washington. They were guys that gravitated towards the perimeter. They didn't have that post rebounding, defending 6'11", 7-footer, and that becomes difficult to battle with teams that have that. So I'm looking at NC State's roster this year, and it's not exactly the same as UNC, don't get me wrong. But they also are kind of missing the same thing UNC was missing last year. And they even have this same undersized post that UNC had last year that's going to try to overcome it. Right now, the big men, the biggest guys, just looking at height on NC State's roster, are Jerry Deng. He's 6'9". His nickname, according to social media videos put out by the team, is Clip for his shooting ability. Right? He shoots from deep. They also have Zamika Wilkins, a 6'8" incoming freshman. Now, I don't know about you. And by the way, he is like a post player, right? He's wider bodied, right? He can battle down low, but you find me a coach that wants to depend on a freshman big as their main dude down there as far as physicality goes, and I will be very surprised. I don't think many coaches like that exist. Then they have Colt Langdon, who's 6'7". You go to his announcement, right, the GoPack.com article about when he committed out of the transfer portal to NC State. One of the first things mentioned, he made 182 three-pointers in a 3-year prep basketball career. Shooter. Right? He doesn't want to be by the basket. He wants to be out there shooting. And then there's Van Allen Lubin, 6'8". That's it. They had Paul Mbaya committed. He was a 6'11", strong, big dude that had played multiple years at a very high level over in a European pro league. He decommits, and he's going to another blue blood. So let's look at it, right? UNC learned last year. Van Allen Lubin, 6'8", is very good. I'm a big fan. Watching him in the ACC tournament, I don't know how you couldn't be a big fan of his. But sometimes he needs a bigger running mate to guard a true post or to rebound against a true post or to just have a little bit of help because he is 6'8". And Will Wade knows that too because, again, he snuck in some basketball into that press conference yesterday. Here is Will Wade on Van Allen Lubin being reliable and consistent but still needing help.
It's been great. He's very, very consistent. He's reliable. He's consistent. He's everything we thought he would be. His three-point shot's getting better. I think he'll revert back to how he was when he played for Coach Stackhouse at Vanderbilt, where he had his best year statistically, shooting it from three. But we got to give him a little more help down there. I mean, look, he's done a great job. He's been a warrior for us. But we got to get him a little more help.
Got to get him a little more help. Got to get him a little more help. I agree. Now, the roster isn't officially done. Obviously, they can add some more. But a rough count came up with, outside of the players I mentioned, Dang, who's 6'9", Lubin, who's 6'8", Wilkins, who's 6'8", and Langdon, who's 6'7". They then have 9 guys between 6'2 and 6'6".
And I think they also still have one more scholarship availability to offer for the roster.
They definitely can add. Sometimes you need that big guy in a league like the ACC. Sometimes you do, and I think they could be like if Darion Williams, Matt Abel, some of these guys they added, right? A true star out of the transfer portal in Williams, a true star out of high school and 5-star Abel. Like they brought in some really good dudes. A leader in Holloman from Michigan State. Like I could go on and praise so many of their additions this offseason. And there's a bunch of them. They turned over the roster pretty good. But it still feels like they're missing something. It still feels like if you go up against a team that has a legit big dude, and the ACC will find a few of them, they always do. That's going to be the circle on the depth chart. Or on the scouting report. This is how we beat them. Just like last year, right? R.J. Davis and all these, and Seth Trimble and Ian Jackson and Drake Powell. I'm talking UNC last year. They had a lot of talent on that roster too. 5 stars, big additions, returning ACC Player of the Year, but they didn't have that back to the basket center. They didn't have that person, who's. It's always awkward to describe at the combine because they're trying to say he's got a heavy hindquarters. He's got a wide rump, right? They're always trying to just say that he squats a lot, right? A big dude. I don't see that on NC State yet. And I'm not saying, by the way, you don't have to have a star. It'd be nice if you had a star big, but sometimes you just need a guy that's, big. He's got 5 fouls and he's got some strength and he knows how to use it. There's a lot of teams that have gotten by with those types of players. A lot of those players made long NBA careers out of just being end of the bench. Hey, if you need somebody to guard a center, I'm here. And if you need me to set screens and catch a pass and give it right back to the guy so he can get his dribble back, I can do that. But I do think they need a big, and I think that is not something that should be ignored. And I don't think he is, right? I think there was some reasons to why he snuck that in. And I'm not saying he snuck it in intentionally, like he was trying to deceive us. I'm just saying it came out in the press conference and kind of swept under the radar because there were so many other flashier clips that he gave us in that presser.